Good morning, everyone. It's a pleasure to be with you. This is still morning, right? I'm telling you, that's how you get. It's a good place to get because you're really not digging yourself deep into creation anymore. Thank God. I think that's why you see so much of the negativity and the karma being almost immediate now. If you saw immediate karma, boy, it would really tune your fork, wouldn't it? As I want a big shout out for Katie. Thank you, sweetheart. This is beautiful. Look at that. Isn't that pretty? Yeah, that's some beautiful work. Thank you, Katie, sweetheart. I love you, honey. You guys are it's just an extreme pleasure to work with you. And if you've seen how our group is funneled down, and we have some incredible viewers of all levels. And that's the beauty of it. And you guys on Facebook, I just hear nothing but great stuff about you guys. And we're all in this together. No egos, nothing. And keep in mind, when you're working with the suffering, and this is unique. I mean, when you're working right in with suffering, it's not like medical, we're here, take this, go home, see you later. We're right into these beings that are suffering. And sometimes these chemical medications have them so warped out that they become schizophrenic. Now look at this shooting the other day on the Navy base. This guy was hearing voices and vibration. And Jesse Ventura just did a show on these towers and these people that are hearing voices, and they tracked it to the government. So I thought that was interesting. But on the other side, I was listening to this, and they were talking about he was under care for schizophrenia. And I'm thinking, here's another individual that went off on chemical medications. And I'll be willing to bet you $100 that they won't look at that. They won't say, hey, these past several killings have been by individuals that have been on medications. If you look at the group killings that we've had in this country, even the students, you'll find that most of them have been on some type of antidepressant, antipsychotic. Who's taken responsibility for using these dangerous drugs? The FDA? No, thank you. They're just about the money. Our government has just become about the money. And it's just revolting. It's sad to see what's going on here. And I don't know. That's when in spirituality, a lot of people talked about this as being the golden age starting and all this stuff. But I think you're going to see a lot more turmoil, to say the least, before you see any advent of an elevated consciousness. And that's why you're all so important to this planet. And I've said this many times to you, that each and every one of you be the light of God. No matter how you see what that is. We know that encompasses love and joy and happiness and self-awareness. The journey, if you could call it a journey, it's really just an awakening, but the journey used to be called the journey to self-awareness or self-realization and then God realization. And that, if you look back and study the growth of spirituality, that in the earlier days it was that way. And when Eckankar first came out, Twitchell called it the science of bilocation, the ability to be in two places at once. And you can read a lot of saints had that ability to do that and was seen in several places simultaneously. It's pretty cool stuff. But anyway, you guys are very important to the world here in helping to elevate this awareness, this awakening. Because there's so many souls that this is their last lifetime. This is their time to awaken, and all they need is a little tap on the shoulder by you. So have fun doing that. Okay, I want to get to your questions here. I think I'm lagging a little behind now. You guys are so good. I'm lagging a little behind, but I think we'll catch up here. Let's see. This is a question, and it says, what can I do more in the raw diet to help succeed with scoliosis? How do I take comfrey root? And do you have any herbal formula for people that have scoliosis? Exercises alone don't help. Spine just turns back to the curvature. Well, that's the point. When kinesiology first came on light, I think it gave chiropractors a deeper sense of muscle relationships and hopefully lymphatic relationships, since in kinesiology we talk about neurolymphatic points, and understanding what acidosis means to cells. Initially, of course, we see the word inflammation, we see stiffness, we see tightness. And remember, the body's a little bilateral. 2 adrenals, 2 kidneys, 2 thyroids, you have 2 sides. And so you always tend to know that one side of your body tends to be a little weaker. One leg a little longer on one side, one breast a little bigger on one side, maybe even one hand, that sort of thing. So it's interesting to see that and wonder if that's even true with one pituitary, if it isn't divided into the ability to handle each side simultaneously. The in-depthness of the body is incredible. I think first, getting this simplistic overview of cells, kitchen, bathroom, real important to keep that simplistic overview. Get a gauge or a picture and then fill in the pieces if you can with what we know about chemistry and physics and things like this, and then you'll have the picture. If not, for those that just want to keep it simple, look at how the human body is designed. Compare the design of the internal body and the external body, in other words, the physiology and the anatomy, to other vertebrates. It becomes quite obvious. Because man has been doing something for years doesn't mean it's right. And you see that. Generally speaking, the multitudes, the flock or the herd, generally follows creation and those that control that. The strong minds, the academics have always controlled. The problem is most of those are going down wrong pathways. It's like the superbug. Here we go again. We've got the superbug out there. Well, who's created the superbug out there? And now we need deeper, stronger antibiotics, and we need more money. And this is a cat chasing its tail to where they're going to screw up things so bad here with the genetics like it is, cell weaknesses like it is, toxemia like it is, massive problems like the flesh eating. But take a look at the issues at hand. Look at the role of bacterium and what man has done to his cell frequencies and or vitality, either way you want to look at that, and what he's done with his level of toxemia. Some of you are fighting extreme lymphatic problems, so please don't get frustrated. Understand you're up against a major system of the human body, much bigger than the blood. And you're up against this system that doesn't have the pressure behind it the blood does. It is lipid-based, so it tends to coagulate faster. In other words, stiffen and harden faster. And you've got just certain eliminative organs. Think about eliminative organs, those organs that help your body eliminate its waste. Because, again, we talk about we're just a consumption and elimination machine. Plants are just a consuming and elimination machine. All life is that way. So not enough attention has been taught and looked at elimination. It has always been about suppression medically. Got a symptom, stop it. And even in herbal, to be honest with you, in herbal lore, that same type of consciousness, take this herb for this condition. We've got to get out of that thinking, because it is a misguided thinking at the very least, and it has led us to where we are at the human condition right now, which is pathetic. It's sad, and all these beautiful souls suffering. It gets you in the heart. So you guys are so vital. All of you newcomers to this site, pass it on. Get yourselves healthy, get your friends healthy, because your survival on this rock depends on it. Governments and here we go talking about chemical weapons, and yet we have chemtrails. I mean, it's just, it's just lie after lie out of these tongues of these people, these people that control everything, the politicians or whatever you wish to call these beings. Sad stuff. So, and obviously it's unawareness, and so the unawareness needs to become aware. And I tell you, when you're hurting, you either become aware or you go down deeper into the world of Hellville. So very important. Scoliosis. Remember, you have a blood system in the body and you have a sewer system in the body. You have a kitchen that feeds the cells in the body, and you have a bathroom. Your body, as we discussed in the last video, your body is not built to handle cooked foods. You destroy the electromagnetic energy, which is everybody wants energy, then why do you kill your foods and make it low energy? Remember, the world in physics is guided by a law of homeostasis, meaning that if you pour a bucket of water in the ocean, you raise the whole ocean. For everything seeks a balance. Everything. And so, in chemistry, you look at that and understand that this balance in the body actually is a little more on the base side. And when that balance is disturbed and you become acidic, then this changes the whole electricity of the body. Add this to the fact of all these cooked foods, which are electrically destroyed. You are sucking the energy. When you eat cooked foods, you're sucking your energy out of your body. Now, those that are channeling a lot of energy, and you spiritual beings out there that are channeling a lot of energy, sometimes, as I've told you, I've had to do that to bring my energy levels down so my body can survive better and I can stay in it better. Just remember that's something different, and that's something as spiritual beings understand, that you can use foods, but you have to use foods that have little toxic residues, which are more vegetables and stuff like that. You can steam them and cook them. But as a rule, when you're going after health, you're looking at energy because it's consciousness, it's awareness, and you're looking at the chemistry that energy forms. And that is whole and complete as the Creator created it, whatever you call the Creator. I don't care. When we deviate from that, we should have seen what's happening. And we see it in chemistry all the time. Chemistry scares me. It is so toxic on this planet right now. We have so many toxic chemicals. We think nothing. We think nothing of using bleach and stuff like this. And so you have to say there's some good sides to that, but you also have to say there's some very bad sides to that. So we have to develop the discipline and awareness to decipher which is essential to the survival of man and other creatures on the planet, not just man, but we also must understand we must get rid of that which is killing us. That's simple. And so, scoliosis, again, when the body becomes acidic, meaning that you're eating too many cooked foods, you're eating high proteins, too much starch, things like this, you're stressing, all these things that acidify the human body, then your body has to fight that because acids destroy. Acids are corrosive. So the body has to fight that. So we've talked about this many times. The three basic antacids of the human body, cholesterol, calcium, and water, edema. The attempt to hydrate, because dehydration is an acidic issue. So when you see that, guys, your body has to use cholesterol and calcium. What do we see in all the strokes and all the heart attacks? We see calcifications, blockages, obstructions from calcium or calcifications, hardening of tissue, narrowing of vasculars. We also see the swelling of the wall of the arteries from cholesterol, plaquing itself throughout the body to try to fight acids, since we are dealing in lipids. Lipids are the main fluid of the lymph, the mucosa, the mucus we get up. That's protective to acids. Acids are too strong to be dealt with water-based chemistry. So we have to go to the lipid-based chemistry, and too much lipid-based chemistry could yield acidosis, I suppose. So we just, the balance of all things, and it's hard for the human mind to decide what that is. But take a look academically. Everybody has an opinion on nutrition. Everybody has their opinion on health. And that's the trouble. These are academic opinions that hold no substance when compared to the laboratory from which we should be observing planet Earth and your own body. And it's hard to tell that when you've lived a life of cooked foods and no one ever told you that no animal, no person, nothing really destroys its food source before it eats it. And man has been just literally destroying his food before he eats it. Now with that said, obviously this is creation. Obviously it's meant to go this way, obviously. And maybe, this is how higher consciousness develops, is going through the cycles of the positive and the negative. The training we'll discuss in another video of why you're going through this. But when your body's acidic and it steals calcium, that structure suffers. And since you have bilateral kidneys, one side of the back always is filtering better than another. And you'll get that pull on that spine as the vertebrae get weaker and weaker. And this is true anywhere. You see it with the hands and the fingers. We have many clients out there, and you guys know who you are, and I love you. You're doing well. Do not stop till your hands are straight again, or any part of your body straight again. I'll say this, get in and detoxify deep with the fruits and the berries and the melons. Get in there and get deep detoxification. Get your kidneys filtering. Check your urine for sediment. And then get into some green drinks. Alfalfa, very powerful. Kelp, things that are high iodine, high calcium. Why? We're looking for the parathyroid to give you PTH, parathyroid hormone. Parathyroid is essential for calcium utilization. And if you can't pull that back straight, look at your parathyroid. Look at your fingernails. Do you bruise easy? Do you have veins? Is your skin getting wrinkly? All that can change. All those wrinkles and the dryness, this is dehydration and the loss of connective tissue integrity. Get that body digesting, get that body absorbing, get that body utilizing the glands, and then get that elimination of those waste from cells out of there, and you've got a body that starts working like a machine. So for those that are channeling too much energy, you can use some steamed vegetables. You can use some things like this to balance out. There are also those of you that have a hard time jumping in the raw, understandably. Because I'm telling you, for those that are suffering emotionally, I want to read you a letter by a medical doctor in England. And he's a good example of what happens when you're under stress. You're polarized to the acid foods. Again, it's that magnetic likeness, And so it's difficult. It is under stress, and I understand that. I fell prey to that over and over myself. I'm not above anything like that. It's just the way it is here. Comfort foods, what makes us feel good, even might not be good for us. But it titillates the taste and memories and things like this that make us feel good. That's why I say, get in deeper into yourselves. Spend time alone with yourself and start going, I'm okay. No matter who leaves me, who beats me up, what government's doing what to me, I'm okay because I stand for truth, honesty, and integrity. I give love to all life. Medical doctors are healers just like everyone else. They just need to learn how to step up higher into these higher levels of healing. It's unconsciousness. And as we become more conscious, we begin to see the level of healing that is required for the Homo sapien race. It's essential. So it's just one of these things. So with scoliosis, it's essential. Now, comfrey root, old name for comfrey, of course, is knitbone. You've got horsetail. There's a tremendous amount of herbs. We have a bones formula that with those in there, with the kelps. These type of formulas are excellent. Green drinks. Dandelion, look at dandelion, high calcium, high everything, good for the kidneys and adrenals. You've got the parsleys, things like this, excellent stuff. When I had health food stores in the early 70s, I sold calcium tablets made out of carrot juice. You don't see stuff like that too much anymore. But I always pushed those because it was hard to get a holistic form of anything. Everything came in isolates. And then as we learn that all isolates have their partners that should be with them, or they can become free radicals, then we realize, or at least some of us did. And they still down that road again, just like we never learned anything. So all your practitioners, make it a focus to always grow and learn. And always think holistic. Because when we think treatment and we think isolates and what can we use to treat this symptom. Some lady wrote me that doesn't have a telephone, and she asked me, her husband's got the tremors and her son starting the tremors, and what can I take for that? They're on some type of chemical medication from the medical doctors, and it's like, there isn't anything you can take for that. You can take an antispasmodic, and that's what you would recommend would be an antispasmodic, but you're treating tremors. This is a deeper, much deeper issue. As you guys know, Everyone's got to get in. If you want a remedy, meaning you want to get cured of your symptoms, you've got to go and address those causative factors. And in some cases, you've got to rebuild tissue, meaning you got to rebuild cells. And what destroys cells? Acids primarily. So this is vital to understand this whole thing for people like that, because they don't know. They're just so used to being taught there's something for something out there. There's got to be something made out there that'll fix my problem. When we live in that world, we just never are happy. We never find it. We go from one doctor to another doctor to another doctor. And we just go to these things because most, and even naturopaths, are symptom-minded. And it's like, that's not true naturopathy, guys. True naturopathy always addresses causative factors. And that's what this world needs to see. The higher level of healers. And I think this is what you guys are demonstrating to the world. And remember that. You're a representative of the being that created all things. And you're showing that in your love and your desire to help people. But protect yourselves, because all that's coming to you is negative. All that's coming to you is pain and suffering. You've got to be strong, and you've got to be a mirror. You've got to let this out. Even you medical doctors, don't take on these things. Always go to what's causing these things. Understand the lymphatic system more. Add the kidneys, no matter what you're taught. Remember, sometimes we're taught things that are just not true. Theories or ideas. And this is true. As much as we think in the modern world we know physiology or we know chemistry, we don't. I mean, when you study the electrical side of life, physics, remember, physics has a lot of different levels. And then to some physicists, quantum is bizarre and out there. But I like quantum physics, because then you start addressing more causative factors. You start getting into energetics and the awareness behind that. I just think that there's so much that science can bring in if we combine chemistry and physics together and take a look at that and understand that we are always electrical first. We're always consciousness before we are form. We are the formless before we create form. So scoliosis, you really got to get your kidneys filtering. You've got to have your parathyroid up. You want to consume high iodine, high calcium foods will help that. But you must first get that lymph moving and get these muscles cleaned, so all the pulling will stop. And the body will pull itself back. I've never seen a case where you couldn't do that. This is Marcus. And Marcus, I'm real proud to have you aboard. This is a medical doctor from the UK, and he's followed Deepak Chopra's work. I like him a lot. You know, Brian Adams called me here about 6 months ago, and he says, "You got to know Deepak Chopra." And I said, "Well, I already know his works, you know." But I love all these higher consciousness people. It's just we need these higher level thinkers. And Marcus, I'm glad to see you're one of them. And so I see that he fights his own compadres in his office here, you know. They think they're radical. But this poor guy is going through painful divorces and stuff like that. And, you know, this can be tough, you know, these things, because we get attachment here. Remember, Buddha talked about detachment. And I'm sure Deepak also talked about detachment. And it's just the consciousness of the East. And that's important to have. Very hard. You know, when Kung Fu was on and they were talking about detachment and the Shaolin priests and stuff, and Cain, he was saying to the master, "You don't have any attachments? You don't have any desires?" And the master looked down and said, "Well, I do. I have only one. I have a desire to be at this place at a certain time at a certain year." And Cain looked at him, Grasshopper looked at him and said, "Well, that's not a very big desire." And the master looked at Grasshopper and said, "But a desire nonetheless." And so that's the thing. You know, it's difficult, very, very difficult to be desireless. But you have to work as much as you can with that. Desire that which improves your beingness, that which opens you up, if you have to desire anything. Desire that which is infinite, That will not limit you to anything. Become the unlimited being, which you already are. Don't limit yourself to anything. Don't use the word can't. My grandmother used to smack my hands whenever I used the word can't. She was an old school teacher. So, it's pulling him to pizzas and things like this, which I understand. And you just can't feel bad about these things, Marcus, because that's just what this does. You have to get into yourself and love yourself more and appreciate who you are, because we pull beings to us and they fill a void sometimes. Relationships are better when you're not filling a void in yourself. You want to be whole and complete and happy totally with yourself, and you're sharing space with another being because they're cool. You like their individuality, you like their perspective, and you want to spend time with them. That makes for a really incredible spiritual experience. And couples should always seek to have that, where each one is whole within themselves. Your love is greater. Your romance and sexuality is greater and higher. It's just an incredible. It reminds me of the Cocoon, movie Cocoon, where the light beings, their way of making love was to bond energetically. This is nirvanic land. And that's basically what you're seeking. When you take on a partner out of a deficiency, out of a need for emotional fulfillment or desire, then you're stuck. This breeds attachment. And of course, attachment locks you right into that which you're attached to. And you're stuck with that like a chain around your neck. And then when that chain's ripped away, there's loneliness. And that's the problem. You're always alone. And this is, I think, very important to understand, that we are always alone within ourselves. God is alone. There is not a bunch of gods. It is alone. And it seeks fulfillment through its creation. And so you will always find that alone time. And I've always said, try to get to that, because if you study the greats, they have spent years of deep meditation, locked in caves. Look at Malarappa's story. I mean, all these things are great and incredible stories to show you what beings did to touch the infinite. And they had to totally let go of everything in creation to get that which is uncreated. And so it's an incredible thing. So try, Marcus, to get more fulfillment with yourself. Spend time where you love. Whether it's, I don't know, UK, where you can find any ocean, but wherever you can find that you enjoy to be, and just let life hug you. And know that we all love you, man. That's what's beautiful about this channel. We must love each other in our sufferings, so we have support, but build fulfillment within each other, that each of us are whole and complete within ourselves. And you're getting it. And so I understand that. Also, and more worrying, I have started to drink 6 to 7 pints of beer. Yeah, you better take some Parasite M. You start getting fungus build back in the body there on that intellectually, this lifestyle. And I know and this is the point, that intellectually you can know something, but emotionally shows you have two different bodies there. They're two separate, distinct levels of creation, actually. And you see that the emotional body is called the astral body. Remember, we talked about Monroe's clinic and how he gets people out of body with music. I think it's John Monroe, wrote a lot of books about the astral world, an avid out-of-body traveler, tried to map out that world. Of course, Twitchell went way up into all the worlds and then beyond. I mean, it's just the map makers. For us here to awaken to what we really are, the map makers have been really great beings and really instrumental in helping the breaking open the awareness to our other factors, to ourselves. So we can understand something intellectually and we can understand something emotionally, but taking those two components and getting it out physically is another hard thing to do. Hard to get sometimes. That's why I say, go on a beach, go in the woods, start talking to the animals, to the plants, because they're listening. And talk with them as if you're giving them a lecture, a dissertation on that which you want to teach people about raw foods. Get your dialectics down. because you have to sometimes physically verbalize to pull these two different bodies together. The ideas that you have, the understandings you have intellectually or academically, that which you understand emotionally, and that which you have to bring out physically. So sometimes people have a hard time doing those things. And that's why practice, practice, practice. If I counted how many hours I've lectured, how many hours I've lectured to the plants and the animals on top of that, I couldn't. Because that's all I've done in my life is put on classes and lectured and things like that. So been a lot of years. It's the only way you can develop that, and you want to develop that. Now I tell you, I used to have Phoebe Quants. Now it's not so bad. I can deal with beings talking to me while I'm talking to you. Used to, I couldn't do that. It was hard. I'd have Phoebe Quants sitting here giving me a lecture, and I could see him just standing right here, and I'd be giving a lecture. And I'm telling you, it was a little like this for a while. I don't even know how my lectures went. So you learn how to step back and let the higher self communicate through. When you're talking to a group, don't plan your talk. Don't write it out. Go by, talk from your heart and what you know. Let it flow from you, from your consciousness. You don't have to pre-know what you're going to say because you know your subject. You're living your subject matter. Now, I used to travel around on her grandfather was Dr. Papalopoulos or whatever, the man who invented the pap smear. And we used to lecture a lot on cervical cancer awareness. And I was the only naturopath, and there was medical doctors, and every medical doctor read their lecture. And I was watching the crowd, and it was like this. And when I got up, man, I was like powering it out there. They're going, whoa, wee, there's a cure, there's this, And that's the thing. When you let yourself, that's why practice this channel, open channel. Don't think, just know what you want to say. I don't even know. Someone invites me to speak, I don't even think about it. When I get up there, then whatever I want to talk about, it comes out right then. Then you're going to reach everybody in that class. When someone wants to know something, they're asking that question to the universe. If you're open to the universe, you're going to grab that question and you don't even know you're doing it as the speaker. And that's what you try to achieve, I'm rambling a little bit today, but sorry about that. My respectful request to you, my friend, is that you produce a video talking about the negative attitudes and acidity of this lifestyle. I guess that's where we're going, Marcus, so that I may use it as a reaffirming mantra that I can watch daily. It will also help me mentally knowing that Dr. Morse now knows that I exist. Oh, no, listen, man. The universe knows you exist, my dear one. And I will tell you, you're one of all of us. And your mantra is always beingness and love and be the giver. Let it flow through you. A lot of people expect. And that's the thing. When you're fulfilled, you don't need anything. When you're fulfilled, you're the giver. And the giver always gets. See, it's always been taught in spirituality. If you want, you must give. And it's always that thing. You must give to get. Because if you're not, you become the desired person, the person that wants. And I can tell you're a real high soul there, Marcus. And so you're the giver of life. You're a medical doctor because you're a healer in yourself. And you give love and you give that which is healing to others. And you need it for yourself. Get fulfilled in that time of aloneness where you can be with yourself and know that I'm okay. Remember that book, I'm Okay, You're Okay? God, that goes way back in the Primal Scream days. Man, that was a lot of years ago. But those are the things, and that's what I'm saying, some of these things are stored in your consciousness. You don't know, and it comes out when you're speaking. So you have to understand you're okay. It's fine. And this is part of creation, the ripping and the tearing. But it is to build strength and the ability of you to be the creator yourself. You already are, but it's like we're bumping uglies with all these other individuals being there fighting these universes already created. Wait till you get to the worlds where everything emanates from your own beingness. Woo! Unbelievable. So, we love you, Marcus, and you just get yourself strong. You don't need anything but yourself, and that is God. And you'll see in that deeper self that you become the all of all things. All these lifestyles are toxic. There's no question to it. Any desire is somewhat toxic to you because you're locked to that desire. Any thought is almost a lock to you. That's the trouble. A lot of people will think academics holds the key. It's the illusion in this world that it holds the key. Consciousness has all things in it. Thought is just isolated forms of energy. And so thought can lock us into, remember, the more you think, the less you are. You know, that's our old saying. See if I can remember that. Is it I think, therefore I am? Or is it I am, therefore I think? Let me know. So, Marcus, love you, man. You are, therefore you think. Let's see. Hi, I have a few problems to say the least. Uh-oh. All right, this is Edwina. I know now the origin after listening to you for several hours. I have been on Dr. Atkins. Whoa, honey, yeah. Rip off of that. And notice how they've added more fruits and veggies to that program. You want to get off of that and get into the detoxification here. Let's see, and I have just broken down my kidneys. Yeah, but build them up. You know, you can build tissue back. And that's what you go for. I mean, I suppose you can say there are PNRs out there, point of no returns, but you know what? Don't live in that world. You know, bring that God force through your beingness and empower those cells with the God force, empower those cells with the God force through the raw foods. Because the raw foods are the God force just like you are. Everything that's created emanates out of the Godhead. So, consume that energetic and chemistry in its wholest, most ripest, and its most delicious forms. And you'll start feeling that body going, oh yeah, oh this feels good. And it'll start kicking those acids and those negative thoughts out. And that's another thing for Marcus, you know. These foods build negative thoughts too. That's the problem. And especially meats builds violence because you're taking on the consciousness of what happened to that being. That's why in Hinduism and even I think in Buddhism, you know, don't even hurt an ant. It's hard not to walk on this earth without hurting something. And you can't live in that world because nothing dies. You know, it's all consciousness. It's hard to understand that. To the point, I have had cancer in both breasts, in a couple of my lymph nodes on the left side 6 years ago. I did the surgery thing, but no treatment. Good girl. Within the last 6 months, I have been diagnosed with Graves' disease and on the meds and now under control. Within the last 3 months, I have had biopsy of lymph nodes on my same left side and cancer is back. I elected to not have the traditional treatment, simply is not an option for me. I immediately went to raw and juicing 95% of my food for the past 2 months. Kind of not sure where to go from here. Should I start on your detox package? How quick? I can only say that, doesn't matter whose detox package, but you really want to address the cause. See, you haven't addressed the cause of this problem. As you know, they're lymphatics. You're in the lymph nodes. Of course, tissue, you know, what damages cells. So cancer isn't back. It is a disease following you around, sweetheart. It's you never fix your lymph system. So your acids have damaged more cells. That's back at a deeper level. So you want to detoxify yourself. Going on the Atkins diet just accelerated you back into high acidosis, meaning you're damaging cells now at a rapid rate. Damaging the kidneys, of course, serves nothing more than to break down the immune or lymphatic system, and now you see the lymphatic system's backing up. So it's been in your kidney and adrenals. You got to fix those. So, Edwina, you've got to get on these detox programs, get into your kidneys, get into your adrenal glands, get into your GI tract, get into your lymph system, get these lymph nodes cleaned out and filtering through your kidneys. Get yourself sweating, very important, third kidney, and really move this lymph system or you're going to get yourself in high trouble here. Now, she says, if it is significant to know, my daily diet includes all organic, great, beets, ginger, curry, kale, collards, carrots. All right, so way too many veggies. Apples, parsley, lemons, cucumber, celery, wheatgrass. All right, sweetheart. Grapes, lemons, oranges, grapefruit, cherries, blueberries, apples, peaches. Those are what your diet should be. Shuck most of this. I mean, you could do a green drink of beets because they really scrape the kidneys. You do a green drink of beets, parsley, and dandelion greens. I would go with that. Lemon, perfect. Cucumber, celery, wheatgrass. I mean, that's okay when you want to build up. You don't want to build up right now. You want to clean out. You're in trouble here in your lymph system, in your kidneys, and you got to get astringents. So you want to shift to 95% fruit, if not 100%, fruits, berries, and melons. Hit the watermelons, hit the melons, hit the cherries, hit the grapes. The darker the better. You want to juice dark grapes and do me a 40-day grape fast. And start right now if you want. Hit that hard, or grapes and lemons. Powerful stuff. You might want to get the detox kits here and get yourself detoxing your kidneys and adrenals. Look for the sediment in the urine. Get that going. Real key. I don't think you're on near enough powerful fruits to do this. I think you're on way too many veggies, honey. So shift yourself deeper into that and get your body cleaned out, because remember, when you're backed up in the lymph nodes, you're backed up all over the body. So it's just a matter of time where you see all other types of symptoms. Memory loss, hair loss, skin problems, edema problems, congestive heart problems. It just goes on and on and on and on and on. So get yourself going. And if you have to, go to the Facebook and get some cheering up and some help there, Very important for you to get your feet on the right path right now. And don't mess around anymore. There's so many names out there. I'll say this is Jay Miller. Hello, sir. My name is, I'll just say Jim. I have a question about fat loss. I want to lose the fat that's on my body, and I was wondering what is the best way of doing that. Is it changing my diet to pure veggies or fruits by any chances, or is there any herbs or supplements that you recommend that I take? Good question. Get into that lymph system. Think, no matter what issue you come up with, anyone out there, you want to detoxify your body. Why? Because that's always the causative factors of why you're either obese, why you have inflammation. All these factors are why the gland doesn't produce adequate steroids or neurotransmitters or hormones. All these issues. And look at the types of foods that man eats. Remember, we were talking in the last video, the teachers now in these New York schools are sending out fat letters to the parents. And yet the cameras were showing the school lunches, and there was macaroni and cheese, there was bread, there was milk. And I'm thinking, the ignorance of this whole system has to pop open. Because if it doesn't, it's just so ignorant. We're promoting the very foods. They just think soft drinks and donuts. Are you kidding? What's the difference between a donut and mac and cheese? I mean, on top of that, we're clogging their poor lymphatic systems. We're shutting down their kidneys. This is a nightmare out there. So we as a society really got to get with this health issue. And there's no way they take it from just one. They need to take it from thousands of us. And that's why you're such a benefit to the health of children, of the kids. You guys are essential here, that these kids have some light that can help them come out of this, because the genetics are horrifying. And we've got a lot of work ahead of us. So, detoxify yourself. Get on raw fruits. The best way to lose weight for any of you, I don't care if you're a 700-pounder or you're a 300-pounder. You really got to get as much raw as possible. If not, add cooked if you need to balance out. The heavier you are, the harder it is. I understand that. And because of this, and because of severe gland shutdown of thyroids and adrenals and pituitaries, you've got to fix these glands. So going into the human body and fixing it is important, because one of the reasons we're obese sits right on top of the kidneys that controls the lymphatic system. Weight is also edema as well. A lot of people are walking around with 10 to 20 pounds of water. We're trying to metabolize levels of sugars that the body cannot even begin to do that. So you see all the blood sugar problems. So we've got some serious issues here. And important to look at that and get on a raw food diet or a diet of fruits, berries, melons, and vegetables. Whether they're steamed, doesn't matter. If you're going to do potatoes, do sweet potatoes. Get away from white potatoes. Things like that. It will help you out immensely. And if you get hungry, eat more. Doesn't matter how much you eat. It doesn't matter how often you eat. It is so much better if you eat smaller meals more often, instead of trying to keep yourself distance and eat less and keep your distance, because the psychological needs, the emotional needs of those that are obese are apparent, because this is the adrenal glands. Primarily, thyroids on top of that can really create extreme obesities. So you fix them. You fix the glands, and you change what you're putting in there in chemistry. Remember, the body likes simplicity. The body likes simple chemistry. Simple sugars, simple fatty acids, and simple amino acids. It does not deal with starches well, fats well, or proteins well. Obviously, look at how they're metabolized and what has to go through the chain of the Krebs, the amino acid cycles, what the body has to go through to get to the nutritional side of this. So I would, you're on the right channel to lose weight for sure, the right way. You do it on high protein, my God, you lose the kidneys, you're not fixing anything, you're acidifying yourself, you go right back to the bad eating, because now you're basically starving yourself for nutrition. So get in that raw, my friend, and you'll be okay. Or as much as possible, but shift to fruits, berries, melons, and veggies exclusively, and get in and fix the kidneys, adrenals, get your glands up, check your basal temperatures, things like that. Hey, Krista. Hi, honey. This is Krista again. The last time I wrote you, I was on day 52 of my all grape fast. Today is September 11th. Now, today is September 18th. So this is a week ago, sweetheart. So my God, where are you now? She's on day 100. What? September 11th, and I am on day 110? Holy moly! And still going strong. Oh my God. I didn't mention my age before, but I wanted to let you know I'm only 20 years old. Oh, sweetheart, I am so proud of you, sweetheart. I'm telling you, the kicking butt. You know what, you guys, you're going to set, you're setting the future. You're setting up what we're going to learn out of all you doing these extensive fasts and this extensive. You're not, I have to say that eating grapes isn't even a fast. You're just eating a diet of grapes. Fasting is water fasting. We call it a fast because we're so used to an omnivorous meal. But my God, am I proud of you. Holy moly. You know what? Break it easy. Break it easy, with more fruits and melons and stuff like that for a week before you have your salads again. But my God, only 20 years old. Look at the self-discipline this lady has. My God, 20 years old. I have to take my hat to her. When she has babies, oh my God. I mentioned in my last letter that my health concern is vitiligo. Of course, now we know pituitary, right? But she's activating it. She's turning on the cells. And you're turning on the cells head to toe. To turn on the cells head to toe, you got to get rid of that which suppresses them. Not blood, lymph. And so, boy, are you guys doing something. I mentioned I was taking pure pituitary for that and took your advice and started adding upper circulation and brain and nerve too. Good take. Good take. And just think it out. Good take. Good take, guys. I had told you that my kidneys still weren't filtering, and I'm hardly seeing any sediment even after almost 4 months on just grapes and taking herbs religiously. 20 years old, though, and I think to myself, this is the condition the kidneys are coming into this world like. That's why I'm saying the younger people. She's 20. Think of the 3-year-olds and the 5-year-olds and the 10-year-olds. Holy moly, they're up against Hellville. You might try some lemons, get some stronger astringents going there, sweetheart, and see if that'll help you. Like I said in my last letter, I'm taking pure pituitary, pure adrenal, and number 3, upper circuit. No major healing crisis. Look at that. She has not even had a major healing crisis. Do we have your eyes, Krista? Like to see that. She's doing the GI broom. Oh my God. She is cleaning her body at a level, and at these levels, if you have scoliosis, you'll see your back turn. Remember I told you how legs have retwisted, hands come back to normal again? That's how you do it. That's incredible. I love it. When I started the fast on May 24th, I was due for my monthly cycle, but it never came, and I have not came since April. Well, no, I wouldn't be concerned. Your body's shifting itself into cleaning itself, and I wouldn't be concerned with that at all. As you move yourself out of this, you'll see that come back and everything's cool. But, you know, fruitarian women, I've talked about this before, and I've only known a few, but fruitarian women tend to only spot when they menstruate. Remember, menstruation, in my opinion, is directly related to toxemia of the uterus. You know, this is a house for a little soul coming in there to rest for a while and to grow a human body. And so God cleans that chamber a lot. And called bleeding is how you clean, remember? Alkaline cleaning. And so important. But as you get cleaner, the less need for heavy menses. And as everything comes into balance and toxemia is removed out of the body, or acidosis, then everything doesn't need to have the dramatics that you thought it did. Some of the things we assume is no more. No more body odor, no more stools sticking to the bowel walls, you know, no more heavy bleeding. All of these things change. Amazing. Remember the cutting and no more bleeding. Rapid healing at levels not seen before. The realignment of the human body. It's amazing, but it's factual, and you can prove it on yourself by doing it. Arnold Ehret talked a lot about it. We've had our cases on Fox News, ABC News. We've shown and demonstrated this year in and year out what you can do. Now we are thousands, and we're demonstrating it to the world. Amazing stuff. Just what the world needs to see. Also, let me see. Also, a few aches and pains here and there all over, but that's common in detox. All your genetics remembering themselves, doing really unbelievable. My biggest pain was the one I received almost every day in my stomach. It happens right when my transverse colon is, right where this transverse located, and feels like stabbing pain. Now, look in your eye, and I'll tell you, this transverse portion of the colon, that which goes across the abdomen, that's the place is the worst on most people. I don't know why that is. That particular part of the bowel is where a lot of the cancers are, and down in the sigmoid rectal area. Very common places to have resections, and these are bad places in a lot of people. Just happens to be, sweetheart, where the pituitary is connected to the bowel. And that's why we always say, if you really want to know if you have a pituitary weakness, look at your transverse bowel in your eyes, and it'll show right there, hooked right into the transverse bowel. So, and this, you have vitiligo. So you know, when someone has pituitary, you almost know for sure, healers, that it is a transverse colon issue as well. And that's why you have to fix up the GI tract, you have to fix up the eliminative organs, and then all this, remember, the embryonic trunk, the GI tract, symbiotic relationship all through the body. Get these tissues healthy, and that will echo out into the other tissues of the body and get those parts of the body healthy as well. You know, everything sits on top, so we got to fix ourselves. That's why there is no just take this for trimmers. It's a holistic effort to reinstate health of cells and removing that which is breaking down the cells, whether it's autonomic, central, who cares? But in your case, Katrina, I think you're right on where your problem is. That's why you're feeling that. You're getting into that tissue that's degenerative in its thinking and pulling that out. Good work. Feels like stabbing pain when I can't walk, think straight, stand up, or even breathe normally at time, and have to curl up in fetal position. Sad stuff. If you have to, if it gets too intense, break your fast. We'll call it a grape fast. Break it if you have to. If it gets too intense. If not, write it as much as you can. But if you have to, break your fast. Let everything balance out a little bit. Take off again down the road later. Sometimes if your clients are getting too much into a healing crisis, sometimes you have to pull them back. But my God, I mean, you do this like this off and on throughout the 2 or 3 years. All I can say is superwoman. That's all I can say. In any and every one of you, you can tap into levels of energy that no one out there can identify with. If you're a runner or you're an athlete, you get into these high levels, you'll tap into an energy no one around you will understand. There's no getting tired. There's no physical tiredness. And especially when that mind-body is emotions are in line and consciousness is ruling, my God, you've got a constant flow of God power through you, no obstruction, so everything's working like a machine. You know, it's resistance, remember? Fatigue can be dealt as resistance to the flow of energy. So, good work, holy crap. But you can see what she's dealing with here. It lasts for about 5 to 7 minutes. You might think about the antispasmodic formula when that happens and use that antispasmodic for this issue, because that's what it is. It's a spasming on you. And that's hooked into the autonomic. That's why the breathing. And it's spasming because that's where your weakness is. You don't have pain, you don't have spasms where there's no problems. You have it right where your problems are, and that would fit perfect with the vitiligo and the pituitary. Fit perfect. That's also how you win. You're getting into these tissues and waking them up and pulling out this level of weakness. Is my body trying to say stop the fast, or is this just my body? Yep. But you can stop the fast if you want to. Now this is 7 days later after this letter, so I apologize about that, honey. Yeah, transverse colon and playing back. You guys are getting so smart. I love you guys. And that's the point. We get smart how the body works, how the glands work, what they're for, and what brings them down. And in her case, she's only 20. Obviously, big-time genetics. And that's what I've been saying. These younger people will have to work out of some horrid genetics because we didn't know. But that's why it's so important that each and every one of you help the world, because there is very little help here on this planet except through people like yourselves. So your importance to this world, let that humble you and make you a giver of the light and the love and the awareness and the knowledge of what you're doing here. Even if they don't want it, be a Johnny Appleseed. Learn how just to drop a little thing. Oh, that's your lymph system. Boom, and go on. You know, sometimes at least a little hint of something and then just turn away. Don't feed it. Some people don't like you to feed to them. So you just drop them a little thing and turn around. I was buying some furniture and a lady had a real infection in this finger and it was affecting the finger, pulling it up like this. And she's on major antibiotics. I'm going, oh no, don't do that, honey. And so I told her to get on these YouTube channels and learn about the lymph system and acids and what's really going on here and how she can stop this and pull this out straight again. So, you know, you have to learn about what's going on here. Maybe I can give them more of a kick to turn on, take a break. Yeah, you know, take a break sometimes. You know, make sure you're filtering. That's all I can say. Filtration is key here. Chrissy, you might want to shift to some lemon fast or something for a short time, break it, and then hit it back again. And that's another thing. If you're on a lot of herbs, give yourself a break a day or two a week. Go 5 days on, 1 or 2 days off. Give yourself a little break now and then. If you've been on them long term, take a week or two off. And then hit that body again. You know, if that's where you are and what your need is, then do it that way. And you'll find, I think, a better way to do that. You know, give yourself a little break here and there. Let the cells back up and, okay, and hit them again. Michael Post. Dark circles under eyes. Hey, Doc. Mike, I know that you have mentioned that having dark circles around the eyes is a sign of kidney weakness. I have been working on my kidneys. My dad was a guy who had 67. Oh, my God. His dad had 67 kidney stones and himself 3. Holy crap, Mike. Oh, I feel for you guys. Your dad, oh, my God. I've had 7. My heart goes out to. That's why I know about the kidneys, guys. Let me tell you. I've learned God put it. Here, think about what these kidneys are for. Oh, what are these? Oh, kidney stones, my God, you might think of a baseball bat upside Mr. Puppy's down there. Oh, my God. I checked my blood pressure, and it was 135/71. Not bad. I have been seeing mucus in my urine. Oh, yeah. But my eyes don't seem to be getting any better. Just work it, man. Just work it. Work it. You know, kidneys are a fairly large group of cells. Just keep working it. Keep getting your body up, your cells up in their consciousness, and just keep working your body. Don't worry about the circles. That just led your attention to the problem. Your kidney stones also led your attention to the problem, and just go in there and fix that. You're doing well. The fact you're seeing mucus in the urine, you're doing well. Could have to do with also cleaning out mucus in my head, transverse colon, the whole 9 yards. Absolutely, Mike. Isn't it funny that when you start detoxifying, you see mucus? You see the mucus coming out of the stools, mucus coming out of the urine, vaginally for the women, nose, ears, you know, because that's the lymph system. Not blood coming out of those slots. You might have some blood and mucus, but that's because it's acidic and it's you know, stressing the capillaries. So yeah, you can get some blood and mucus, especially out of the lungs and out of the sinuses. You know, some people have bleeding noses because the acids have made those capillary walls so thin they're easy to bleed. So if you're bleeding like that, use the bleeding formula, but by all means, get this mucus out of the human body. And look at Ehret's work, you know, the mucus diet healing system. He blamed everything on mucus. Substitute that with the lymphatic system and acids, and you've got it. You know, we might not be 100% in everything, but at least we have a big piece of the pie, guys. Huh. Did I go over this before? Let me go through this if I haven't. I think this is a good one. This the YouTube name is P4Ndora 407, like Pandora 07. She's had the tonsils removed at 4. Several bouts of tonsillitis with antibiotics. Had a poor diet. Didn't eat much fruit or veggies entire life. Was bulimic. Overdosed on a tranquilizer at 16. Oh my God. Stomach pumped. Tube in stomach. Feeding charcoal. Yeah, familiar with that. Spent a lot of time in emergency rooms, so I've given people charcoal before. Absolutely. Not fun, is it? But we have charcoal in our, you know, in our GI broom. And that's because charcoal purportedly absorbs 2,000 times its size in particles in toxemia. Bentonite about 100. And I don't know where I stand with bentonite, as I saw a show the other day, and they use it as a glue. And I'm going, what? Bentonite as a glue? Scary. Abused sugar all my life, da-da-da-da-da. It's about most of us, sweetheart. Diagnosed with RA, rheumatoid arthritis, when I was about 23. Methotrexate. Oh, my God. Typical stuff. This is just sad stuff here. Rheumatoid arthritis is generally, remember, in RA cases, if you look at the eyes, in 99% of the cases, you're going to see the sulfurs. So they're high, high antibiotic use. You see high uric acid from high fungal problems. So they have high fungal problems, high acids, of course, just like any acid, any fibromyalgia, any lupus. Put all these things like lupus, fibromyalgia, Lyme's, any arthritis, systemic inflammation. What is systemic inflammation? A viral problem? Not even close. Virus has anything to do with that. This is high acidosis. And acidosis is really a big issue. This is a big issue. And RA, you know, let me read on before we get into that too much. Steroid injections, of course, in shoulders and stuff. And this, of course, then this shuts down the adrenals even more. So then it becomes even more accentuated, more steroids. Pretty soon they lock you in a dark room in Hellville. Not smart, not good, not 21st century. We got to come out of the darky ages on this planet. Holy crap. Went into remission at 25. There's no such thing. I got it back after I had been on weight. You're not fighting a disease that's coming in and out of the body. You treated it, you suppressed it, and it come raging back saying, hello, you never cleaned me out. Acids. I was put on fluoxetine or something for 6 years for severe depression. Well, you know, extreme acids, extreme pain would make anybody highly depressed. Feel sorry for you, honey. I had stopped taking it for 3 years ago, and up until 2 years ago, I was suicidal all the time from the pain. No kidding. I don't blame you. This is why, guys, these cases like this poor individual is why we do what we do. You know what? It's why we do what we do. The suffering of men. That the suffering should not be. After the RA returned so aggressively, and it didn't return, it was always there. They just suppressed it for you with the steroids. Not tolerating methotrexate, no kidding. And had liver function issues, no kidding. That was cleared and continued on the following drugs till now. Humira, oh yuck, oh my God. I keep listening to the side effects of Humira. Sweetheart, and she's listed a lot of other things. Side effects I've had in injections. The Humira almost gave me my life back. Again, come raging back on you. Oh man, as it stands, I have bursitis in both elbows. You have so much worse than all this, sweetheart. You just have so much acidosis. You have systemic acidosis. You want to get in there, get those bowels cleaned up, get those kidneys, rake that body clean of all these acids. Get your kidneys filtering, get your adrenals back online from the steroid uses, get your own steroids up, get your kidneys filtering, clean that bowel. Get that sulfur out of your body. If you're one that doesn't have it, which I'd be totally amazing since you've been on high sulfur drugs, you want to get that out of there and get these acids out. If you don't open it up, open up the skin, get your parathyroid and thyroid back up, hopefully pull you out of depression. But this is a pain depression, sad thing. But again, you're going to be losing calcium at a rapid rate to all this high acidosis. And depression comes in with loss of calcium. So you got to do just what this channel's talking about, sweetheart. Just want to get on Facebook if you're already on there and get these people to help you walk yourself out of this one, because this is tough. You're going to be working hard. It's going to take you a year or two to get yourself out of this, but you will get a remedy. And that's what you're looking for. How do I get these acids out? Acids, pain. Synonymous. Oh, good. Since finding your videos, it gave me hope again. I started following your directions to eat mainly fruit, and thanks so far. I've maintained an 80% raw diet, excellent, and juicing veggies at night, but I am still eating lollies and breads. Well, it's because you have fungus. Take that Parasite M or something equivalent to that and stay on that for a while until you don't crave starches anymore, because you're going to have a lot of fungus in the body. And remember, fungus like Candida, fungus and moles and things like this, they crave sugars. And so that's why we crave starches. Fermented starches, by the way, and cheeses. Any fermented foods, that's what we're going to crave. That's fungus. And of course, they leave uric acid crystals in the body, which is that little pinprick pain. So you want to get yourself cleaned up that way. Also, stop taking all my drugs except an anti-inflammatory. Well, all your fruits, berries, and melons and vegetables are anti-inflammatories, and there's a ton of herbs that are anti-inflammatories. So we have an anti-inflammatory formula. So work with these sort of anti-inflammatories, because you have to be careful with pharmaceutical anti-inflammatories because they're killers. You got to be real careful, and you do not want to slam your adrenals anymore, or you're getting yourself in a little dark room in Hellville. My question is, what herbals should I be taking to fix the arthritis? Full bore program. Get in, detox, go on the first kit that gets the worms out. It starts to open up all the doors. Then get your 2 kidneys, your 2 lymphatics, 1 capsule, 1 tincture. Clean up your GI tract. Get the GI broom. Start pulling this sulfur out of the body. Get your kidneys filtering. Make sure you see sediment in your urine, sweetheart. Got to do this. I would do grapes. Krista's on this high grape fast. That's what I would do. You might find that certain foods exacerbate pain. Stay away from your cruciferouses. These are sulfur veggies. Stay away from them. Get into your sub-acid fruit category and your sweet fruit category. If you can tolerate oranges, organic, ripe ones, by all means. If you can tolerate grapefruit and lemons, by all means. But I tell you, you might not tolerate those. You know, these are bad. Stay away from the nightshades. That's tomatoes, potatoes, eggplants. Stay away from all these kind of foods. Give yourself subacids. Give yourself melons, papayas, things that soothe. Things like this. Maybe even watermelon can be too aggressive for some people in pain, believe it or not. What fruit specifically? Absolutely. What herbal things can I give my 13-year-old Ridgeback for blindness and arthritis? Oh my God, he is on an injectable nutraceuticals at the vet, but I'd like to help him in any other way I can. Same thing. Even though he's an omnivore and you're a frugivore, same thing. Try to get your dog more vegetarian for a while, if possible. Very helpful. And that's where the herbs are going to come in for you with the dog. I would do 1 lymphatic, 1 kidney, 1 endocrine gland. Clean up the gut. But work on the kidneys and lymphatics and the glands in your dog. Same thing. Same thing. And thanks so much, my dear one, Liz. Thanks, sweetheart. Liz, you get yourself back into a state of health, okay? Because I can tell you're suffering pretty much here. Oh, this is Raina, the ex-stem cell researcher. Hi, sweetheart. First, I want to say that I miss sitting next to you. Oh, that was fun. I enjoyed you. That was fun. My question is about root canals. I had one done 7 years ago. Recently, it started bothering me. I just learned that they are extremely toxic as the dead tooth has small canals. Yeah, I mean, and they were using this toxic substance that kills cells even more. So yeah, that's why, we're in Europe where they tend to use more of a calcium substrate than we were in this country using toxemia. I mean, we've used toxic chemicals in this country so bad, we need smacked. But yeah, I don't know if you want to just pull it to go into an implant in that. Depends how important that tooth is to you. Do a bridge if you don't want to do an implant. Do something like that. But going, that's all decay from acids, and that's why we end up with a root canal in the first place. I should speak. I lived all my life in dentist chairs. I was raised on milk. Always had sinus. Always couldn't breathe. Earaches. No one told me what was wrong. I had one medical doctor say one stupid thing after another. And then when I learned, I'm going, oh my God, that was simple. I just quit drinking the milk and clean out all the congestion. Too simple. So yeah, sweetheart. Should I get it removed out of my head? Probably. And then either bridge if it's an important tooth. If not, don't worry about it. It would be better if you have a tooth in a place where you don't use it a lot, then don't implant it. I wouldn't do anything with it. Just pull it and let the gum and the bone heal. If you want to implant it or bond it to another tooth. That's the only way you can do it. But it does talk about the lymph system, same problem. Most of us can feel these lymph nodes under here at any given time. Hate that, but good talking to you. It was a pleasure having you aboard here. Yeah, I've had the occasion to have a lot of people have the stem cell therapy in here, and so far not one has said it was good. So there might be some that have a positive effect, but so far I haven't heard it yet. I've heard nothing but negative effects from it. So still, we're back to the old consciousness again. Take your cells and make them healthy. That's the bottom line. Always think causative. Truth Fitness. I love that. Hi, Doc Morris. I have been watching your YouTube videos and hope to find an answer to my cardiac neurosis, and it seems as there is none on that topic. Please, if it is not, I've not heard that before. That's interesting. I spent a lot of years in that. Look at that. Please, if it is not asking too much, make a video or include me in your question. I sure will. I wonder what herbs I can take to heal this. I have been raw for 4 months starting first. Okay, so let's think about that. The nervous system that feeds the heart is the autonomic. All right, so you have the parasympathetic and the sympathetic side. So you want to get into the kidneys and adrenals, get that filter. Remember, the heart's just a 4-chambered organ, with a nervous system, with a blood supply, with a lymph supply. And so any one of these energetic flows can get compromised from which? the lymph system. So you always address that lymphatic system. Our heart formula, I designed that to strengthen the heart muscle itself. And the brain and nerve will strengthen the nervous system, get into circulation lower. That'll start moving the blood more aggressively in the heart. Get the lymph moving and filtering through those kidneys. That'll pull out acids that are breaking down the neurons. Get the myelin sheath strengthened again through increasing adrenal performance and increasing neurotransmitter production. And that'll strengthen the myelin sheath. The brain and nerve will help to strengthen the neurons there, strengthen the nervous system. Get the stomach and GI tract cleaned up, by the way. You know, the heart is attached to the descending colon in the embryonic trunk issue. And so clean up that colon as well and get that fixed up, and you'll be on your road to Wellville, my friend, and you'll take care of that. Thanks for the question, Truth. Fitness. Good, man. I've got to pull away from here, so I do apologize. Gosh, there's so many great questions here. Oh, man. Oh, here's one that just stuck out. What is your view on hypnotherapy? You know, when I was coming through reading psychology and all this, I was into the Jungian therapy. Of course, it was Freudian, then Jungian, and then there's all kinds of different things out there. And then there was a Jungian dream work, where you went back into your dreams in a more conscious manner, awakening consciously into the dream experience and seeing what that was for. I think one has to be very careful in hypnotherapy in the sense that whenever you have an individual working on another, there's always that individual comes loaded with, when you're looking at, put it this way, when you're looking at someone physically, you're looking at a giant being. You're looking at a soul that has a ego, that has an etheric or subconscious part of the mind, has the conscious part of the mind, has the causal part of the mind, which is the thought processes, has the emotional body, and has the physical body. So I'm aware of a lot of people, hypnotherapists, that were arrested at one time for doing things to people under hypnosis. So there's also the subconscious part of that individual that even that individual might not have under control yet. And so when you open your whole beingness to another entity, and you could call each of us an entity, whether they have a physical form or not, that's when you get in trouble, is opening your doors up to this. It is better for you to find your own remedy by those tools we've been talking about. Spending time alone, getting into yourself, becoming that which is. Don't open yourself to have an entity sit on you. Entities can sit in you and you don't even know it. They can influence your thought processes and you don't even know it. This is another level we really haven't discussed a lot. But this is an important level. True spiritual guides will never let you use them as a vehicle because you're opening yourself up. Or some spiritual guides let you use them for their vehicle, and that way you're focusing in on a spiritual being. But at the same time, you have to make sure that spiritual being knows what they're doing. You know, if you go into India sometimes, you'll see these high meditators, these guru types, and you'll see these Americans following them around in a hypnotized state. I've seen that. And some of these, I know for you think this bizarre, these reptilian things, they have the ability to use hypnosis with people, can get you under control. You don't want anybody to ever control you or use that. You must get strong within the self. If you use a spiritual being to help with that, use God, whatever you know, that's complete for your protection. Surround yourself with the light. There's times where I've heard of great benefit to that. But at the same time, be very cautious about opening yourself up to another entity or another being, whether it's a hypnotherapist, whoever it is. And I know some of you probably are hypnotherapists. Those hypnotherapists that are the most spiritual, that understand karma, is the ones you would want to go to for this procedure. Because they would be more inclined to not want anything to do with any part of you in terms of karmatic rebounding. And this is the thing with hypnotherapists. You must be careful, because any desire we have as healers to help others creates karma. That's why I can feel it a lot of times. I can feel some suffering out there, and I know where you guys are dealing with. I remember a master once said, oh, I feel somebody's kidneys, and my kidneys were hurting real bad. Could have been many other kidneys out there too. But that's the point, is that too much sensitivity can bring in karma. So we have to be careful. Our desire to help others should be only the desire to be and express God. And that desire is to bring itself into balance again and into a happy state of existence. So I just be caution to the wind when you do things like this. So that'll be the word of the day. Stay strong, give love, give peace, and just be. You know, just beingness is the highest form of giving love you can, because you don't have to consciously give it. It exudes from you. It emanates from your very presence. And your presence of God. It is love. And that is the best healer there is. So I love each and every one of you. Thank you so much. Marcus, we're all on your side there. All of you guys, thank you so much for your questions. I'll keep whittling at this and get this down. So you have a great day, or whenever you see this, just be in that greatness at all times. Love you all, and thank you so much.